Hello. Um, well, I kind of wanted to talk about this because I saw video of I'm not gonna mention the reader because I don't want to, create some drama or anything like that. But she mentioned that especially about twin flames, the twin flame journey and twin flame community, that if you want to really get into union, you should go to readers and listen to readers that are in union themselves instead of because those who are not are still thinking in a way of separation. And the question is, should you or should you not listen to readers who are not in union? Now, I'll say yes and no. The reason is, well, I myself have said that, like, I wouldn't take advice from someone who is single. But things are not so black and white. And the thing is, everyone has their own timing and their own path. So if you're resonating with a reader who is not in union, then this is where you are at right now. This is your path. Like, you cannot force it. Like, I myself have gone down that road. Like, I would only listen to readers, well, when I used to be actively on this path, because I'm not anymore. But I used to listen only to readers and YouTubers who were in union. Like, I would take advice only from them. However, that did not bring me into union because there's timing. Like, I myself am very much into astrology, and there are specific transits that bring the one, and you cannot force that. Like, as much as you try, you cannot force that. However, you can still try to get yourself in a state where you'll be receptive towards the transits, and because they're opportunities, they're not compelling you, but they're opportunities that you kind of want to grab. You kind of want to not miss because they're big transits that probably happen once in your lifetime, and like from outer planets. And if those outer transits are hitting your relationship spots and angles and planets, you really want to be in a state where you're receptive. But from what I've noticed also is that as long as you have the intention, you're always being aligned to the highest path of your highest good. It's just, it doesn't take much. Even, like, you don't have to be constantly focused on yourself and your journey and readers and stuff like that. All you need to have is the intention and to know what you want. And, like, I don't know, I've seen readers who are in union, and shortly after I see videos such as why I left my twin flame, or why I met someone else I resonate with more, and I just don't resonate with that. Like, to me, it's like, if you left someone, then probably that was not your, like, if the concept of a twin flame is being the one, then why would you leave the one? Then that was just not the one. And that's why I'm trying to just break it down. That's why I don't resonate with this path anymore, because I think it's just very flawed, and I don't think it has to do with partnerships at all. I think it's just this, because you are what you attract, and you attract what you are. So basically, when you attract people who, things are not working out, the relationship is not working out, you gotta ask yourself, like, why am I attracting this? What part of me needs to observe this? And it's a process. That's why I'm saying it's also okay to listen to readers who are not in union, because that means you just resonate with their path. Like, for example, my path. Like, I am not in a rush to get into union at all. Like, I'm actually not looking forward for it. But, everyone has issues. Like, I myself have a lot of issues. Like, if you relate. Anyways. But yeah, this just means that you resonate with this reader, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to hurry to get into the union, because, like, as I said, first, everyone has timing, and everyone needs to reach, well, everyone's soul has set a certain state to reach until they get into union, meaning you want to become this person before you can attract someone who matches this. And that's why most of people are in this very long healing process, because they want to heal like all sorts, everything inside that's making them attract unhealthy relationships, because no one wants to be in a codependent unhealthy relationship down the road. And sometimes I get very arrogant and I'm like, relationships, like, they're not that important in life. Well, yes, they're not, of course, but there also are. That's it. Like, they're not, but they are. Because, I don't know, like, we as human species, if we want to look forward in the future, and if we want to create a better future, better version of ourselves, of our kind, we need to reproduce. And we need to pass the lessons we learn to our kids so that they can have a high start and, achieve even more. Like, we all know that we carry karma from our parents and from our ancestors that we need to clear. And sometimes it's a very long process, like, especially if you come from a very broken family with a lot of pain, it will take you probably a lifetime to heal this karma. That's why it's so important for us to be conscious creators. Like, we're healing so much so that we can give our kids fresh start, with minimum karma if possible, so that they can build even more, and not have to focus so much on clearing blockages rather than just creating. Because, like, this community has been, like, now for the past 10 years maybe, people have been mostly focused on clearing blockages and becoming conscious and aware of what they're manifesting, because that's what we're learning now. That's where we're at, and we cannot speed up this process. We can just, enjoy the ride and see where it leads us and just do our best. But, it's also true that the collective has, there's just not one collective, you have levels of the collective. People who have healed differently. There are people who have healed more and people who have healed less. And that's fine. Like, everyone has their own timing, as I said. Everyone has their own ability. We're all different. We're all different levels. There's no shame, nothing like that. We're hoping that everyone gets to heal as much as they can. Like, that's the ultimate goal. And I think personally that relationships are a very good mirror to see where you are at your life and who you are, when you have someone to mirror this back at you. And it's a process, it's a game, sort of. And whenever you run into a relationship that's not working, or the person is, not being receptive or does not want to commit, this does not mean that it's your twin flame, because there is still a lot of those people who just, they're fixated on one person that does not want to commit and has issues, and they say, this is my twin and I'm gonna do everything possible to heal them. I'm gonna wait for them. That's fine, because what it means simply is that you need to still heal somehow with this person. Maybe they're mirroring back at you something. Maybe there's some karma that needs to be cleared. The thing is, you cannot force the process. You cannot force to let go. I know that there is a timing for that, and it's your personal timing. Even if that means being hooked up on someone for 10 years, yeah, it is what it is. Like, you can't change it, really. Like, well, I guess you can. Like, depends on your intention. Like, if your intention is to have this beautiful, healthy relationship, and you said this is intention, and you try to let go of who it might be, things might speed up, because your mind is open to receiving more truths, and one of the truths might be, why this person, no. Because sometimes people have different paths, sometimes even if you think someone is your twin flame, they might have a different path, and that path might not be crossing yours. You might not have the same goals and visions, because this is the ultimate thing when it comes to relationships. Twin flame, soulmates, doesn't matter the label, really. Like, if you think about it, if we're all one, that means pretty much we're all twin flames. It's just different people have different levels of resonance, and that's it. Anyways, when you think about it, that's the ultimate goal. Like, you want someone who has the same goals and aspirations as you do. This is what makes you stick together. When there is divergence, I'm not sure that's the correct word. Anyway, sorry, English is not my first language. But if there's a difference in the visions for the future, separation happens. And that's fine. Here comes the choice. This is what the lover speaks of in tarot as well. It's not really about divine lovers. I've never seen it work like that, ever, when it comes up in a reading. What it speaks of is choice. Like, yes, you met someone who could be your divine match, but now you gotta make a choice. Do you love them more, or do you love your own path and your own dreams more? And, can you sacrifice something from yourself to choose this person and figure out how to merge your goals together? Or you're gonna choose yourself? And a lot of what's been happening, like the pattern I have observed a lot, and I've myself been in it, is usually with the divine feminine, she chooses the masculine, and the masculine does not choose her. I'm gonna use genders now because I'm speaking from experience, but if that resonates with you, regardless of the genders, I'm happy. But that's been the most observed situation, if we gotta be honest. And that is something to make you think. Like, why is this happening? Is that some sort of, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a mirror of the one person that they're not choosing themselves. I don't think it's that personal. Sometimes I just think that, sometimes it happens. It just happens like that. People, we still have free will. That's the thing. Like, even if someone is your divine match, they can still choose someone else or something else above you. So it's not something to be taken that personally. I think what needs to be looked at more is how you deal with that later. And if you are hooked on someone who does not want to be with you and did not choose you, then this is something that you need to look at and heal. Why are you wanting someone that does not want you? I've been repeating that so much in my videos, so much in my readings. Like, think about that. Why would you want someone who does not want you? Does that mean you don't want yourself? It's weird. So think about that. In my opinion, the process speeds up a lot more if you just let go of someone who does not want you. And if you're thinking like, but I have this crazy connection with this person, like, I feel this pull, that must mean something. Definitely does not mean what you think. I'm sorry to break this to you, but it does not mean what you think. It definitely does not mean that you're meant to be. Doesn't mean anything like that. It simply means that there's something inside that you need to heal. Because I've had this with probably 2 or 3 different people, that intense connection and that intense pull. But the level of intimacy and connection we feel with someone is entirely up to us, not a special person. There are types of people that like intense connections and deep connections. There are many of those people. There's not just one. And there's just not just one person who you can feel this with. So don't put one person on a pedestal and make them this special. Like, I'm never gonna meet someone better or anything like that. Just, really focus on you. Really, I cannot stress how important this is. Like, I know this has been talked about, like, all over the internet, about all sorts of topics, not even the twin flames only, but like law of attraction. Just focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. Focus on the good, focus on the positive, focus on yourself. But I don't think many people understand that. I did not understand this even myself until recently, when I realized how powerful my focus is. And it's just, it's it's so powerful. I cannot even tell you. Like, literally the moment you start truly focusing on yourself, meaning that you stop caring who's gonna come, when are they gonna come, are they gonna come back, what is he she doing, the moment you start acting like, this day is all about me today. Like, I'm not getting distracted from all things that are not in my business. I'm gonna work on my skills, I'm gonna work on my career, I'm gonna work on this and that. And this creates such huge shifts. Like, you can create so much in one day only if you're focusing entirely on yourself and no one else. No other people, no question marks, no when, no what, nothing. Just surrender, Trust that when you're ready, things will come. Because many of the times, at least in my case and from what I've experienced, many of the times people want something so bad, and when they're obsessed with it, that means they're not ready to get it. They're not ready to receive it. And I can testify for that, because I've had a time where I was so obsessed with relationships and with having with someone, and I did not feel complete being alone. I was like, but I was not realizing that. But I was like, I want this. I want to experience this. I want to experience relationships. I want to experience romance. Blah, blah, blah. I was not ready. I was just not ready for that. And I know this. Like, I was not ready for a committed relationship. And that's okay. Like, I myself could be a divine masculine, You don't know. But it's important to realize that if you're attracting people who are unavailable, that means you're unavailable too. Somehow, somewhere. Because that was my case. Like, I was attracting only unavailable people from different countries, like, where everything was so hard that it was pretty much impossible. And until pretty much recently, I was like, you know what? I don't think I myself am ready for a relationship. It scares me. It really scares me, to be honest. Like, it really does. I'm gonna be honest. It scares me the shit. And maybe that's the difference between the masculine and the feminine, that the feminine is not admitting that to herself, and the masculine is being pretty open about it. The masculine is like, you know what? I'm scared. I'm scared for a relationship. And that's where the positive comes, and that's why it's so important for you to be in internal union and internal marriage of your masculine and feminine energy. You can check this through astrology also. Calculate your chart and calculate your okay, I'm pretty sure you can find calculators online. Check midpoints, sun, moon, midpoint. But pretty much it's calculated when you add your sun sign plus the degree of the sign. So, for example, if you're Aries, like 20 degrees sun Aries, you add 20 degrees plus 0, because Aries is 0 degrees. You gotta do a little research for that, but I'm pretty sure you can find on the internet how to calculate a midpoint. Calculate your sun moon midpoint. That midpoint represents your inner marriage, the marriage between your masculine and feminine, between the sun and the moon, between the conscious and unconscious, light and dark. This is a very, very powerful position in your chart and in your life. When this happens, when you embody the energy, that's your midpoint, that's when you can expect union to happen, because that's when you have no longer shadow sides. Like, you're very much in union with the masculine and feminine, with the darkness and light. And that's the thing why when I'm doing my masculine and feminine readings, I'm trying to encourage people, regardless of the gender, regardless of what you identify to be with, listen to both readings and try to identify with both and see how you identify with both. Because I'm 100% sure you can and you will. And the thing is, when you do that, you become more aware of what if you're a feminine. Like, if you're a female, usually your feminine side would be much more dominant, because that's how we're conditioned. and your masculine will remain kind of in the shadow, and you won't be seeing it. That's why you'll be projecting it so hard on the other person. But, or vice versa. But if you try to, kind of like look aside and see where your masculine is, try to resonate with it and see where, in which areas of life you could be doing the things that the masculine is doing to you, you're halfway there pretty much. Because this is when the union happens, when you start accepting that shadow side of yourself that you've been projecting on someone else. And when you learn to love that and accept that, you will be much more open and willing to love your other half, whoever that might be. It doesn't have to be a person that you have in mind. It could be someone else, but really the person is not, like, twin flames are not about someone else but you. It's just your entire path. The twin flame is your perfect mirror to who you are. So if you find yourself in a happy, healthy relationship, that means you've reached this inner state of inner marriage and inner peace. That's it, pretty much. So really, really, I'm encouraging you to try this exercise. See how it changes, see how it works. Give it a month. Try to be really mindful, like, next time you go to a reading for masculine and feminine, see how you resonate with both. Because I can tell you, ever since I started doing this, my relationships transformed. I'm not one to be hooked on one person, so I'm trying to move on actively with my life and with people, and pretty much whoever's meant to be in my life will be in my life. But I've noticed that my connections transformed deeply. I started attracting people who actually value me, who care for me, who are honest with me, open, just everything that I actually want. And it's a learning process, And even though those connections did not last, I take them as learning experience, and I'm trying to be grateful rather than bitter and hurt. Although I did pass that too, but it's fine. We're learning, And yeah, pretty much if that's your case, that's great. That means you're learning, that means you're moving forward, and that means you're reaching that perfect partner that you want, that perfect connection. So let's close the video again. Should you listen to readers who are not in union? Yes. Pretty much yes. Because if you resonate with them, that means you're on the same path as they are. And as I said, you cannot force levels. You cannot force to jump ahead and to skip lessons. That just won't happen. It just cannot happen. That's why be patient with yourself and focus on yourself mostly. And that's how you will speed up the process. Because when the majority of your focus is on you, things speed up. Processes speed up. So yes, you should. Only if you resonate, though. Like, the fact that they're not in union should not be stopping you, because that just means that, divine timing for everyone. Like, even if you listen to readers who are in union, does not mean that you're gonna get instantly in union or anytime soon, because it might not just be your timing. As I said, astrology is a very good mirroring tool for when our timing is. So, yeah, also, if you're interested in astrology and knowing some of those stuff, hit me up. I know this and that quite a lot, actually. So yeah, hit me up, and I'd love to discuss that with you. Okay, I hope this resonated with you. I hope it gave you some sort of clarity if you've been in the dark, because I know I wish someone told me that a few years ago. And that's it. Thank you for listening, and I will see you. Bye.